Just a quick review of the Rockford Fosgate T1 15. Rockford Fosgate's built-in fuse thingamajiggy, pluggy, whatever. I mean, it's great. It's good. I'd rather have you pop a fuse than blow up your woofer, but most people still blow these anyways, or they use too big of a fuse. Rated at 1,000 watts, which is just about right. I don't like these terminals just because you have to tilt the frame up or do it from the back side in order to see the hole. They do the same thing on the P3s, P2s. I mean, it looks cool, but as far as functionality that goes, it's a little tough. This is a dual, is it 1 inch? Or is it triple? Looks like, no, it's just dual slug. Probably a dual 1 inch slug. I've done many conversions of these where I pull the whole thing out. It bolts from the back, these four guys. And then you just trash the frame or whatever, typically what I do. The spider on this thing is 10 inch, or it looks like 10 inch. Yeah, that looks like 10 inch. I'm pulling my dick out. In the past, in the Silverface series, I know they've used a little bit larger gap, and then they use a 8-layer flat aluminum. This looks like a round aluminum, same 10-inch spider. The 10-inch spider is there for mostly looks and to have sort of continuity of the bigness of this 15. This is basically a like Soundcube HDS, a little bit bigger than that. Probably the old HDC. I really liked that one. Not quite as big on the motor diameter as the HDC, but still about in the same ballpark. This one probably does about 1,200, maybe even close to 1,500 because it's got the Go Fast ring on it. This copper heat sink that sits right in the gap. Again, any sort of power handling related, whether it's patented or not, doesn't matter. It's mostly just to mitigate abuse, right? Because they know the abuse is going to happen, and so you're kind of planning for it because people are idiots. So you should never burn a subwoofer. I know it sounds crazy, but until you do it, and then you're like, hey, this thing is defective. It's not defective. You're an idiot. That's all. You're an abusive turd, and you get what you deserve. 50 millimeter wine height, even maybe 45 millimeter. It's only meant to move about 2, maybe 2.5 inches. It'll definitely get there with this big of a spider. Again, it doesn't need to be a dual spider. It is. These are both super soft. The only thing that makes this unique is the quad leads are at 90 degrees, which makes it a pain in the butt to either make yourself. And they did a little loop system. You see this on PSI. David Moore talked about using a pencil as a guide, and then you just stitch it like that, or you could, and they even stitch it with glue. Oh no! They use stitches all the way through, and then they use glue to keep it from. Sometimes you hear a little rubbing if you don't glue it and stitch it. They use solder tabs. Not that enhances performance. That's mostly for, or that's actually all for production time, speed. Let's see what else. I'm gonna attempt to recone this one. This one is a bitch in that they put this weird lip right here. And then because the surround sinks in there, they do that so they can create a little trough for the glue, so that the glue it gives it a great look, hands down, great look, sure. But it goes in there and sort of wedges in there, and it sort of gets encapsulated with the glue, whether they use a rubber cement or a CA or whatever it is. What we do is we grind this even, and then what I'll probably have to do is use something like see, this is pretty shallow. I think I'll probably have to use the 5 series cone for this rebuild, and then maybe a former with a longer, a coil with a longer former. And we should be able to use our quad 1 ohm copper coil and make this a dual 2. And then these things are fucking expensive, man. HDC 15 was like right around 200 at the time. And then this thing is like $800, $900 now. So you're paying for the brand. You're paying for dumb bullshit that, sure, it's on there. Sure, it's patented, but is it really effective? I mean, do these look cool? Sure, but you put the whole thing in the fucking box, so you don't even get to see it. Again, I would rather pay for performance, right? I don't want the blonde. I want the brunette with the big tits and makes me sandwiches, and maybe she has a lazy eye. That's fine. That's fine. I know I'll never get the blonde. That's fine. I'm okay with that. Big tits, lazy eye, likes to make sandwiches, you know, brings girlfriends over. That's the girl that I want. Again, that's my personal choice. If you want the blonde, go buy Rockford Fosgate. Go buy JL Audio, whatever. I think that was it. The cone's aluminum. I'm not sure how well they bond it. Or no, it's paper. See right here. Paper with a aluminum dust cap, if I remember right. So the dust cap doesn't do any heat sink stuff that you would see back in the old TC sounds. The stuff that T.C.O.Z did for Eclipse that was actually coupled to the coil, the former. So it would actually transmit, it was a mechanical connection, so it would actually transmit the heat. Again, not that that's great, because what it ended up doing was killing the glue right here at the edge. So again, you solve one problem and it just pushes the problem to another area. When we finally have Mac fully implemented, we will just do sturdy paper cones like we do now, and then we will have a cap system. What I'd really like to do is a detachable cap system so that you can get them engraved, so you can replace them if they get dinged up or whatever. And we will make those out of metal, poly, glass fibers, aramid fibers, you know, basically whatever you want. And then also if you have to, you know, make a repair, you just pull that thing off, and then, you know, all that stuff is right there. It's not impossible to do. It's just a little tricky. So, oh, I got speaking of this little Neo guy, I think I showed you this one. Cicada decided not to go with this series, just because it's a little, what's the word? It's not strong enough to justify putting into the lineup. Does that make sense? And so Larry wants me to build or design a badass Neo shallow. And I'm like, ooh, awesome. I get to use a bunch of my ideas, and I get to contract out a CAD monkey to draw it for me. So if you're a CAD monkey and you want to make some money, do some trades, let me know. Oh, I did this the other day. It's packing. Chopped off a nice big chunk of it. Didn't want to stop bleeding. But yeah, CAD monkey, let me know, and then we'll work on some designs that I've had in my brain, and we can tool something up. I want to see if we can do it mostly out of off-the-shelf stuff, and we should be able to. And I can implement a lot of the things that, oh shit, Mr. Span. Sorry, I will take these off today and ship these out today. He wanted these frames. I didn't have the ones, the boys ended up scrapping them because they were all beat up. So I'll go ahead and remove these and ship these today. Good reminder, it's always good to do a shop update, but this is not quite a shop update. I'm just gonna do this one and call it a day, or not call it a day, but just for right now for this video. Again, keep your questions coming. If you need step-by-step instructions, watch the old videos. I do a lot of that step-by-step instruction. I'm not going to do a lot of that stuff now, just because I don't need to teach you how to solder 20 times. A lot of it is just you guys committing and trying over and over. You know, find some dead subwoofers locally, and then try to make things happen. Try to make the magic happen. Does that make sense? Just like, you know, the first time you fucked a girl, it was not probably great. You got to practice, practice, practice. And so it helps if you find somebody that can help you practice, right? And for me, it was my dad's girlfriend. So that's how, that's how that goes. Anyways, I love you guys. Talk to you later.